What is going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are returning back to the political process. As you see on your screen now, there is a big update for this game. Looks like everything looks a lot cleaner, actually. This is the first update that we have seen in months, and finally you guys are seeing it here first. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. I'm going to go ahead and send out one more link. Let's go over to the political process Discord, and I'm actually going to talk about how we are. Let's go ahead and see where I can do this. All right, and finally sent that link out. Look at new legislation. Is there new legislation? Let's go ahead. I'm actually about to read off of the new changes that we are looking at in the political process. I did not know that there was an update that was released. Definitely would have streamed a lot earlier if I actually knew that the game was updated. Let's go ahead and look at the updates for the political process. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that and paste. Alright, and let's look at our new options today. So, I added an option to customize politicians' proteges, customize the player's character while the game is in progress, customize campaign staff members, customize political candidates while playing as party chairperson, and added an option to manually place party leaders as such as Speaker of the House. Manually replace party leaders such as Speaker of the House. That's a dictatorship right there. Added an option to customize elections in the election tab if the character customization is set to true. Added an option. Let's go ahead and, for one thing, it does look a lot cleaner. You do not have enough remaining hours in the week to draft legislation. You need 25. No new taxes in here. Let's look over here. Looking at the chat. Let me see the list of updates. Doesn't look like there is any new legislation. Medicaid is the same, crime is the same, and yeah, no new legislation out of this update, unfortunately. Let's see what other changes we got. Political history is now consolidated so that consecutive terms in a specific office are listed as a single history item rather than having an history item for each term in office. Adjusted party demographics for... He adjusted the party demographics for Georgia congressional districts. Added an option to do marketing in Washington, D.C. for presidential election campaigns. Hell yeah, we can finally make Washington, D.C. Oh, let's look at that. Okay, Washington, D.C. is not there. What are we doing? Washington, D.C. I know shows up. Let's see. Add an option to open, close multiple field offices in multiple states within a single menu. Added 3 new facial features. That's good, I guess. Increase the likelihood that lower level politicians will run in elections to replace higher level politician who is retiring rather than generating new candidates to run in the election, so that's good. So that means we can actually see mayors, governors, state legislators actually running in these elections. We wanted new legislation. Yeah, the beta was basically it. Customization is good if you want to do a realistic simulation. Yeah, that'd be good. Let's customize. So we can trait. Oh, we can actually do traits. None. We actually have traits now. Approval ratings, we can mess with approval ratings. Number of terms in current position, 2. Let's add a trait. Let's do optimistic. Can I add a trait? Amusing. Okay, I guess that has to be in new characters. But I can't actually change my name. That's actually really awesome. So that means I can change my name during the game. Add history. So you can add... Oh, that's really cool. You can add the title no matter what. Oh, so that means you can actually come in and you can start on a custom year and then say, well, you've had these other positions before that time. So that's actually really cool. Do traits help you get elected? I don't know. This thing just came out. Don't ask me these questions. Let's look. Campaign. Let's go over to the next week. Okay, so it's 2004. We just had a presidential election. You can also change your appearance as you get older, so that's good. That means you can dye your hair if you wanted to. Violent criminals, property criminals, and drug criminals. What is my approval rating? It's going up, actually. So that is acceptable. I want more legislation and more challenges. So do we. I mean, that's... the reason for that is basically that the guy does not want to... Because basically, whenever you add more legislative options, basically you're making more variables for the game. So the more variables you put into the game that is possibly already unstable, then you're going to start having issues in where you cannot you can't do something because there's too many variables. So in order to kind of simplify it, that's the reason why he's not doing that, is because to put more options in there, to put more metrics in there, you're making the game more complicated. So you're going to have an issue whenever that comes out. Trash, apparently. Add an option to save and load entire groups of cabinet members rather than saving one member at a time. That's actually really cool. So that's actually going to help out. So there's a lot of fixes that actually came out too. Fix an issue in advanced option when it's possible for policies to have 0 or 100% support, which could cause NAN problems. Fix an issue where legislative news section would sometimes show the wrong details for legislation. It would base details on an old version of the legislation rather than on a news version of the legislation. I just wanted to see if they made more committees available. Let's go ahead and check on that. Favorites. There's favorite politicians. You can add politicians to this. Oh, you can do favorites now. That's awesome. So if I wanted to make my boy Milo Bowie a favorite, how would I do that? That's kind of cool. You can add politicians by going to a politician's profile page by clicking add the favorites. Okay, so let's go to federal. Add the favorites. There you are. Okay, so we can actually mark politicians now, so that's awesome. Milo Bowie. Timothy Henry. Let's go ahead and watch over him. James Head. Helena Barra. Minority. And then so I'm watching over a lot of these bigger guys. Oh, yikes. I accidentally removed him. History, state senator, one term. So it's showing you how many terms they're actually serving. So that's good. Elections and committees. Yeah, let's go ahead and check on the committees. Transportation, science, space, and technology. House administration, oversight, and government reform. Ethics. Is the ethics committee now on here? Unless that's not an option. I think we would have to go to nomination for state house speaker. So we're in the Virginia House of Delegates. So we need to remember that we're not federal, we're state. Do you want to run as a nominee for state house speaker? Yes. So apparently we won in this previous election. Larry Burke. So I only got 7 votes. Let's go ahead and give myself an 8th vote. But Elijah Keller is going to be the Republican nominee for State House Speaker. Elijah Keller. Oh, this is a tie. This is a tie. We got 50 votes, 49 votes. Let's go ahead and do 50 votes. Pete Abdullah has become the Speaker of the House. and Elijah Keller has become the minority leader. So 50-50 and the Democrats won. That was a rigged vote. That was definitely a rigged vote. The Virginia House of Delegates now no longer speaks for the Republicans or the Democrats. It's literally just going to be a split vote the entire time. Nominees for State House Party Leader. Let's go ahead and throw my hat into the ring. Let's go ahead and vote. 25 votes. We lose to Wilbur Webster. Let's go ahead and give myself a 9th vote. So we come in number 3. Adrian Scholes. Can't click on him. Nomination for process for caucus chair. Let's go ahead and say no, since I'm not going to be doing any leadership positions in this round, but we're going to go ahead and do it in the next one. They want to make Virginia blue. Select your committees. Let's go ahead and select my committees. Ethics is still unavailable. Veterans Affairs is unavailable. Elections General Government Committee is unavailable. And Agriculture is unavailable. Let's make myself the ranking member of the Human Services Committee. Actually, let's do Energy, Environment, and Natural Resources. And then let's do Appropriations. You cannot serve in more than 2 committees. Please select only 2 committees before continuing. Oh. Alright, let's go to next day. Alright, gasoline tax. We got oppose. Yeah. Well, let's see if I can do this. Let's do 55 cents as an amendment. Let's say support. It got 1 Democratic. Oh my god, see, that's probably what we're going to be able to get. We're going to get some Democrats to actually cross over. So there might be just 1 Democrat that's actually going to side over with us, and that's going to be Susie Hope. Susie Hope might actually tip the balance of the Virginia House of Delegates. Let's go ahead and support. And that passed. The amendment passed. The bill has passed. The House of Representatives will be sent to the Senate for committee hearings and a vote. So that's lowered it from 59 to 55. Probably is going to get gutted back in the Senate, and then it's going to get sent back to us, which at that point we would probably have to vote against it. Let's go to the next day. PG, show the election of 2004. Let's go ahead and show the election of 2004. State Senate, 22 to 18. State House is 50-50 because the Republicans gained 19 seats. Which I believe, no, we didn't win by that much. But let's go to governor. This is our county right here. A lot of Republican support, but I can't wait for like a shader option to where we actually can see like where the Republicans kind of like didn't do so well in, and then where Democrats didn't do so well in, and then where they're actually overperforming in certain counties, because that always happens. Look at that, we gained actually net seat gain. It's 21 to 19 and then 22 to 18. Okay, so we did lose one seat. And then federally, House is 62 seats. It was a Republican wave, actually. See, that's what I'm starting to notice, is because there's so much polarization in the House, the Senate, and the presidency, is that these elections swing by proportions they honestly probably wouldn't swing by. And it's mostly because the metrics are worked in a way to where the people react to things that they actually, I mean, if I go over here, if some of these options are all red during the administration of like a Democrat or Republican, whenever these options get way too low is where they start having issues, and then they like come out in numbers against the administration if the situation gets even worse. That's actually why sometimes I kind of mess with the years and the debt, is because the economy is going to get to a point by probably 2040 to where the deficit is so high that everyone is going to have a bad economic rating. And I actually had that issue where I was a senator of Florida, and the economy got so bad because the deficit was getting so high because we had so much debt. And then most of the money was literally going toward what was the budget factor? Most of the money was literally going toward it was actually mandatory spending, because the nation had such a bad, where was it? It was mandatory, and then it was because this deficit was in the trillions. And then if you actually go down to the whenever you actually have budget expenses by department, you actually go all the way down to where it shows your national debt. And then the national debt interest payments were literally almost $900 billion every year. So most of the money, not only are you paying like $2 trillion on Social Security and Medicare, you are spending almost $1 trillion on the debt alone. So that made it almost unplayable for me, because I had to deal with that, and there's no way I was able to deal with it. Can't wait for international relations update and cabinet post. Cabinet post is definitely going to come out first before we have international relations. I am an independent, and power would attempt to amend the 22nd Amendment if Trump doesn't first, but Hey, what's going on, Michael? Welcome to the live stream. Let's go over to legislation. Let's do tax reform. See what we can do. Let's go to metrics, budget. Let's go to states. $29.2 million. Let's see what we can do with the tax reform. So $2.1 billion from... Okay, let's see. Okay, we're making $12.6 billion off of tax revenues, off of the income tax. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. So we are looking for $19.1 billion just to make sure that it equals out. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. And then... So around the middle of this, that was around 4%. Let's do a 4% flat tax with... No personal exemption, but then $1,000 deduction. And then let's also... do 4%. No, let's do 3.5%, and then let's do 6%. Yeah, that literally goes up by about $100 million. Property tax would be another one. Then that will allow me to reduce $19.1 billion. So that's 3%. They're adding a bunch of new elections, I heard. Biden didn't condemn the attack at all. Well, actually he did. Campaign trail is also mostly based on luck. Well, I wouldn't say on luck, if you're talking about the game, actually. So I have the flat tax at 3%. Let's do... Let's do 1% on the property tax. Let's go ahead and submit that, see how that does through committee. Actually passed 16-1. Propose an amendment. The amendment failed in committee, passed 16-1. And then floor debate, amendment votes. So that increases the flat tax from 3.75. Decreases from 6 to 5, and then decreases the property tax to 0.75. Let's go ahead and oppose that amendment, but it passes. Wait, the amendment did not receive enough votes to become part of the bill. Oh, so I was the deciding factor on that. Yikes. That's funny. I was the only Republican to vote against it. And see, this is actually kind of fun. It actually makes, just because the House of Delegates is split directly down the middle, just makes House votes a little more fun, actually. Let's go ahead and support the legislation. 91-9. Montgomery Willis, Wilbur Webster actually voted against it. Adrian Scholes, big party names actually are voting against it. Elijah Keller voted against it. Except they were in a very small minority. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people voted against it to the literally everyone else. I mean, 91 people voted for. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and see how it does in the Senate committee. 0 politicians and change the vote of 0 politicians. I got a hearing, actually, and then it passed the committee 8-6 with no amendments. My influence changed the vote of 8 politicians, while it influenced the vote of 8 politicians and changed the vote of 7 politicians. And then it has been passed in the state senate with 30-10. It will now be sent to a conference report to adjust any discrepancies. So we are looking at HR 5, which is the conference report on it. So it went up by 0.38%. Increases the 3.2 to 3.5. Let's go ahead and support. 91-9. Now we wait for it to go back, and it has been signed into law by the governor. Awesome. We just got a tax reform passed. That is one of the most tedious things to actually get passed, because very, very likely you're going to have an issue to where you're gonna have them propose a lot of amendments. So don't expect that your tax reforms are going to get through the House and Senate without getting amendments, especially if you're a lower level politician. So that's really good that we actually passed it with minimal changes. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next year. Let me go ahead. Assault weapon ban. Governor supports HR 7. Yikes. Imagine this happening right now. This is going to be straight down the middle. Let's oppose. Yes, we had a lot of Democrats split from that vote, and had 11 Democrats actually oppose it with us. So 48 Republicans supported the opposition, and then 2 Republicans actually wanted it, but they did not have the numbers. So definitely a little more tedious to get an assault weapons ban in the state of Virginia. So finally we actually blocked something like that. Let's go ahead and go to week 52. Senator Brian Feng will not seek re-election, and the governor will not be seeking re-election due to reaching a term limit. We're going to go ahead and run for a position again. Tax reform eliminates income taxes, creates a flat tax of 3.38%, increases corporate tax from this to that. That is actually our discrepancy. This is the states. A $3.5 billion surplus. That is awesome for the state of Virginia. Definitely means that we are going to have a lot more spending on other things such as education, healthcare, and community college. So that's going to be awesome that we can actually do that. Show the damn Senate elections. God dang, you need to calm down. 59% approval rating. Let's go over to the Senate. Republicans gained 4 seats in the previous election. They won in New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Iowa. And some 51.5, 50.8, 51. So these were pretty close elections. They were not decided overwhelmingly, but they were pretty close. And archive, let's look. Politicians, federal, House, Senate. Look at all these split states. That, I mean, 61. This is the biggest majority I've actually ever seen any party actually have. 61% of the Senate is Republican, 39 Democrats, with split states such as Washington, Nevada, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Connecticut even has a Republican in office, New Hampshire, and Maine. We are hopefully these guys can actually get reelected. I mean, there's a very slim chance. But I mean, look how long the Republicans have been in control of the Senate, and their power just keeps going up as the elections come by. The Senate is hard to take. It is hard to take. Maybe if I actually ever go big politician, maybe whenever my guy actually gets older, we're definitely going to run for Senate. The issue is how are we going to run in the big cities? How are we going to get the support of some of those smaller counties? That Connecticut Republican senator is getting his ass kicked out. I know, right? Connecticut definitely won't last long. The Democrat actually in Georgia definitely will not last long. Republican in Washington probably will not last through the other election. I mean, freaking Minnesota has a Republican senator. Let's look at the House, and I mean, this one keeps kind of fluidly changing between each election. Let's go ahead and go to the next day. Let's run for our position again in the State House. Let's go with Austin McGill. Economic, let's do higher minimum wages. Poverty, let's fight poverty, and then let's fight crime. Oh, it shows you actually. Open primaries, independent voters can vote in this primary, and it shows you what you're running for. So I'm running for State House, Virginia 29. That's awesome. So finally, you can actually say Senator of Virginia, President even. So that's actually really good. There's some small things in this update that I actually really like. So this is not that bad of an update. Let's look at our opponents. We are being unopposed in this primary. That map was beautiful. It was beautiful. I missed the last live. Well, welcome back, King Xavier. Welcome back to the stream, PTK. We haven't had a Republican senator since 2008. Which state, actually, if you can actually say so. Let's do more fundraising, $2,500. Let's do a couple of days of just straight fundraising. Let's automate events, and let's do fundraising, and then let's do 25 and 75. Let's see the turnout for these elections. Really low turnout among Democrats, and very high, pretty normal turnout. We usually average around 12,000 votes every single one of these elections. Alright, so let's go ahead and start making some money. And we're also increasing turnout. Senate candidate Ulysses Downey. Nice, Ulysses. Mr. Ulysses. Senator Ulysses Downey. Senator Downey. Sounds lovely. Ferdinand Grace for Virginia 10. Hopefully we can run in that position in the future. Oh, it's a current representative, actually. I wish they added independence. They will add independence in the future, I know that. Let's go ahead and do stronger among Republicans, and that actually, I think that helped us among independents. Let's go ahead and do this, and we actually have a turnout of 1,331, and now we have 242,000 people. Let's go ahead and do one ad for minimum wage. And then let's go to the election. $12,013,500, 60.4% of the vote to 8,864. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We did a great job. Let's go ahead and look to see what happened in the federal level. Democrats gained 47 seats, took control of the House. They did major gains in Minnesota. Republicans actually recovered a lot in Virginia and Wisconsin, it looks like. California, let's look. Connecticut. Yeah, Democratic winners. How much? Okay, so what are the numbers? 47 seat gain totals. So actually, Wisconsin stayed the same then. That actually means Wisconsin barely even moved, if they're that red. Washington is a little bluer. Nevada's bluer. Arizona's kind of a little bit bluer. Texas is starting to get that way, especially in Nebraska. Nebraska only has a couple of seats, actually. Florida, North Carolina, Virginia are actually all pretty red, surprisingly enough. What do we have? We have a Democrat in office for District 10. So that means we have the opportunity to run against that man, Gary Howland, in 2008. So if we want to go federal, we could. We are a pretty big name politician. We just won our election, but we could actually step down and go federal, just to make this district 10, at least a little bit more ruby red over the next couple of election cycles. Except we would be facing very hard opposition if the Democrats are actually winning. Let's actually look at our House districts in the previous elections. Okay, not primaries. If you play on very easy, Texas can turn blue. Yeah. Let's go to state. Let's see what happened there. Democrats gained 9 seats. They have a very hard grasp now on the House of Delegates. State Senate, Democrats gained 1 seat, and governor, 55 to 44. Let's look at the let's look at this. Let's look at the general election. Our city actually was still there. So see, that's actually one of the best things about getting consolidated city counties, is that the cities don't have that much power over the county as a whole. So making them into these little consolidated city counties is actually one of the best options actually for this. I mean, you're looking at this, you're seeing some consolidated city counties. Most of these are actually in the west. These are actually turning red. You're seeing some of them. I mean, look at this one. We got one little city out there, one city right here, and a lot of these cities over here in the west that actually are a little more conservative. These are probably less in population as you actually go north. I mean, it's kind of more of a central issue. Look at this. It's actually more of a kind of a divide between the east and the west. I mean, very, very hard conservative in the western part of Virginia, but then you go over to the east, and especially in the north, yeah, you're going to see a lot of blue, but, I mean, closer you are to the ocean, I guess the bluer it gets. House of Representatives, let's look. 47 seats, I already said that. Senate, actually, big gains for the Democrats. Big gains, big gains. Let's go to federal Senate. Wow, I mean, those, as I said, we definitely were looking at some sort of opposition that would get a lot of these states actually to flip back over. So a lot of the states I was literally talking about that we probably were going to see flip, Washington, Nevada, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, these guys definitely, Ohio even, Connecticut definitely got their person back, and Maine definitely got it back. Florida definitely did flip over, probably especially because Miami-Dade controls that vote. But yeah, huge demolition for the Republicans, completely got swamped over in the House of Representatives. But then in the Senate, I mean, they have a 1-seat majority. That's not that much, but definitely they did lose a lot of ground in states that that are controlled by the populace. I mean, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Maine. These guys all had definitely unpopular Democratic senators that lost the vote because they were just too unpopular. So, big changes happening in the House and the Senate. Carbon capture and storage mandates. Let's look. Establishes the program. Let's go ahead and oppose it. Did not get through committee. Surprised with Arizona. What happened to Arizona? Arizona stayed red. That's interesting. Senate's general class 1, class 2, class 3. See, these were, that was 2000, so that was 2 years ago. So the next ones we're going to be able to see is whenever it's in 2010. That's going to be next elections happening there. School board elections are going to be happening this year. State House Speaker, let's go ahead and throw my hat into the ring again. Which we actually don't have the votes. Yeah, 59 to 40. Oh, let's go ahead and give him Elijah Keller. Elijah Keller's been on top. Caucus chair position. Let's go ahead and say yes to that. Let's see what kind of leadership positions we can get. Lost by about 2 votes against Judith Nash. Judith Nash sounds very familiar, actually. Select your committees. Let's go ahead and select my committee. Let's be the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee. And let's be on the Appropriations Committee. Martha McSally will hopefully not win. Hopefully not. The developer is working on the judicial branch together with appointed positions. Awesome. The judicial... does that mean the judicial branch will actually be the next big update? It's going to be a while. It's going to be a long wait before that, but it's going to be fun. Let's look at discussions. For one thing, let's go ahead and save. Just because the guy says to save often. Yeah, if you guys actually wonder why the updates take so long, it's literally one person working on it. That's kinda, like, I mean, it's something that I've offered, actually, to help him with, is helping him get the funds that he actually needs, because there's a lot of willing people in the community of the political process that like this game, that want to see more features, and if he increases the amount of people that he actually has, then he'll be able to do a lot of good. For one thing, let's start putting some young people into protege positions, and let's start taking some control of the House. So if we actually start putting some people out there, the more popular I actually get, the more control I'll be able to have. So the more people I get to vote that are actually along my lines, we're going to take a lot of advantage of that. That basically means that we're going to have people that we know running in positions. Let's do District 61. I'm going to be choosing young people because that means we're going to have them in these positions for a lot longer. 39, 38, 58. I'm going to be doing them in some of the biggest... I'm going to be doing these positions in some of the biggest ones. So I'm going to be using at least the limit of proteges that I actually have, just to make sure that I have control over certain elections. You should run for Congress in 2008. They added occupations outside of politics. Details, history. He was a tax analyst. Tax analyst, property manager. There has to be... Let me go ahead and save this real quick. I want to actually test this feature. Let's go ahead and go to the main menu. Campaign. Let's do Ernie Wilford Tyson. That guy looks pretty cool. Let's do mouth. Do that. Policy. Let's make him a liberal. History. Add history. So I could call him a CEO, or I mean, I could call him customer service associate at Walgreens. Let's say 2010 to 2015 actually. Well, let's say 2012. And then shift lead at Walgreens. Walgreens is just literally an example. Let's say 2012 to 2000. Let's say 2015. So that's what your history would look like. And then you can go over to traits, add some traits. We can say he's amusing. He's optimistic. He is ethical, charismatic, and friendly. Then you go over here, you say he has $250,000 starting out, and 100 people know him. He'd probably have the community behind his back if he like was at somewhere. I mean, you know, he'd probably use that position to say like, hey, vote for me. So he'd probably have 10,000 people behind him. CEO of My Pillow, whatever was made in 2020. Did PG describe some Democrats in 5 words, LMAO? 23 people watching, 21 people. And guys, if you guys are watching this right now, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I really like the history option. That actually gives you a little bit more variety. I mean, making a character off of this, I mean, I wish, see, this is what sucks about having these live streams go on, and then you get these updates that come out that literally make the game a little bit more better. And in the current game that I have right now, I'm not able to take advantage of these traits and actually kind of like have a history behind it. I mean, I could actually start a brand new live stream series if I wanted to, and then just kind of iron out a history behind the character. It would be a lot more fun. So then you have save a character preset. So then let me get out of here, exit the main menu, and then load. Let's go back to the actual one that I have. Let's go to policy history. So I seriously cannot change the traits. But I can add history. You could switch everything about the current game into another game with advanced options. Yeah, see, but, I mean, that's not... I don't know. I mean, it's fun, but then it's also kind of not fun because, like, yeah, I mean, you're just kind of like... I don't know, I mean, I could do it. Sometimes I just like the continuity, I guess. Usually that's kind of fun. I have $700,000 right now. I've been hovering around, like... Well, I mean, that's in savings, actually. That's not in my campaign funds. I only have 1,000 political points. Oh, I have 71% of the moderate Republican caucus, actually, after me. Chairperson, chair of the Republican Conservative Committee, so I don't have that position anymore, but I do... I've been serving 4 terms as a state representative. Look at that. Legislative aide, title clerk, and a corporate lawyer, graphic designer. Oh my god, I'm gonna love this history now. This is actually gonna be really cool to see like what these people are. Politicians. Let's look to see senators, politicians. What is your history? This guy's been in here since the 50s. The heck? Look at this. Guy's been a senator of Oklahoma. He's been in office since 1957. He's been in since Eisenhower, Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Clinton. I mean, he became Senate Minority Leader the day we got the time we got into office. He's been a senator since 1973. Wow, look at that guy. Yeah, I can literally name like all of the presidents. I mean between 1957 and 2000 and now, like I know the presidents. Because 57, 59, Eisenhower was president. Then Kennedy got in 1961. Then it was Johnson. Then it was Nixon after him, and he got elected in 1968. Actually, there was an election in 1968, and it was one of the most divisive elections because MLK got shot earlier that year, and then a lot of people. Were just really bad. I mean, you think right now is bad. Imagine what 1968 was like. Do you know the VPs though? Well, Nixon was around here. Nixon was VP. He was the vice president of who was it? Eisenhower. And then Lyndon B. Johnson was JFK's vice president. And then Nixon, it was not Spiro Agnew at first, it was someone else, and then Spiro Agnew came in, and then Spiro Agnew actually had to resign because of the scandal. So then Ford became, it was someone, then Agnew, then Ford, and then Ford became the president after Nixon resigned. And then so Ford actually did not have a vice president during his entire term. He was like the first person who was not elected to office, and for the entire time during his presidency, he did not have a vice president. So at any point, the president would have died, which would have been Ford, and then the Senate pro tempore would have had to take office. Yeah, no, I'm totally getting confused. Y'all got me started on a triad. Shut up. I've been starting this video a while ago. Don't even question me. Legislation. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to do? We already got the... Oh, yikes, I just skipped through a lot. No, I don't want to increase taxes, but the Democrats do, so that's cool. Speaker of the House before pro tempore. Yeah, it is Speaker of the House. So the Speaker of the House would have been president if Ford had died at any point during that time. How do impeachment trials work? Impeachment trials basically say, like, has the president committed a crime? If we think the president committed a crime, then we're gonna launch an inquiry. The inquiry will find out whether a crime was committed, and then we send our findings into the House for a vote. The House of Representatives basically says if they agree that the president should be removed from office. Basically, it's the people deciding that the president is unfit for office or has committed a crime that cannot be ignored. And so then the president, so then that gets sent over to the Senate, in which it is a criminal trial, in which criminal proceedings actually go forth. So then the Senate decides whether a crime actually has taken place, and if a crime has been committed, should the president be removed from office. So then the Senate decides, okay, we are the judge and jury. We're going to have an entire legal proceeding, and then they go on from there. Contacts, education. Let's give a speech in Frederick County. And then let's do one in Winchester City is the county. That is like literally right there. Sometimes he doesn't even have to commit a crime. Congress decides whatever qualifies as a crime, since the Constitution is very vague about it. Well, not exactly. Basically, it's not a matter of whether he committed a crime, and it's because you're basically endorsing parties impeaching someone just because they don't like him. Because that's the reason why this impeachment failed. Because you can't scream and yell and scream and yell for 3 years and then expect that he's gonna get removed from office. And then the first moment that you seize that's gonna get him removed from office, that's gonna be a political move. And the Supreme Court would not have let that happen because it actually happened before. Basically. Politics. It's calling it politics now. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. I like the changes in this new update. I mean, it's actually really cool. Party chair for the city campaign committee. That'd be interesting. Like, it actually happened before, and it actually happened during Reconstruction. Basically, the president at the time, Andrew Johnson, was actually baited by Congress to... Oh, actually, yikes, we have such a high tax on gasoline here. Let's reduce the gas. I mean, what's our numbers right now? We have the tax so high, and we still are running a deficit. Come on, put me in control of the budget. Look at that. I balanced the books so good that we have a constant $4 billion surplus. I mean, we have $6.8 billion in the bank now. All because of me. I'm not even governor. I'm just a politician. But yeah, Andrew Johnson actually was baited by Congress to break the law, and the Supreme Court even said afterward that if he had gotten removed by the Senate, which he was actually saved from removal by one vote on both counts of whatever crime he committed. And basically it was a bunch of stingy Republicans who disagreed with President Johnson's handling of Reconstruction, and one of them was led by Thaddeus Stevens, who was actually on the Judiciary Committee. And Thaddeus Stevens was actually one of the biggest pushers for full-on emancipation for African Americans after the Civil War had ended, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but this is the reason why he got impeached. So basically Congress passed a law that basically said that the president had to do something And they knew that if the president actually tried to enforce that law, then it would be illegal and unconstitutional. But the job of the president is to do the bidding of Congress. If Congress passes a law, it is the president's job to execute that law. So he had to execute that law. And then Congress was like, why are you doing this? You're breaking the law. You're doing something that is unconstitutional, so we're going to impeach you for it. So it was impeachment by political means. That Thaddeus Stevens knew that if President Johnson actually did this, then it would mean that he is breaking the law and would be grounds for impeachment. But Supreme Court said no. Even if he was like voted for removal, the Supreme Court would have stepped in and said no. Yeah, y'all want a stream, or do you want history? Come on, I can do both. Gerald Ford, on impeachable offenses, whatever a majority of the House of Representatives considers it at any given moment in history. But yes, I think the judicial branch would still not approve. Yep. If the judicial branch actually comes in, like the moment we will have a president removed by impeachment is whenever literally every single branch of government comes out and says this guy cannot serve as president. There is no way that this guy is actually attainable, and has always been political with Trump. No matter what you think about Trump, it has always been political. We've actually been reducing poverty pretty substantially, actually. Unemployment's going down. Underemployment's actually under 6%. So we're actually doing a lot better with underemployment. The poverty effect is going down too. State budget. Let's go ahead and do this. Provides funding. Okay, budget request 1.8 billion, governor budget 2.2 billion, current budgets and amendments. So it's going to be slap right in the middle, but it's going to be above their request. So that's a $200 million increase. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mickey. Now we aren't safe because city and state leaders won't step up. Trump offered help, but they reject it for political reasons. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Is people, the violence now is literally not Trump. It's not him. It's people who think it is okay. And it's not even the Democrats. I'm not really going to pin it on the Democrats, but the silence from the Democrats basically says that they approve it. What's going on now is basically some sort of mix between, we don't want to speak against your group. We don't want to go against Black Lives Matter. We don't want to say that we are against you. But we don't know how to draw the line between what protests are and what riots are. And the fact that they will not speak against the rioting because they don't want to get the rioting and the protesting confused for some reason, which at the same time, the people who are supporting the rioting, they're doing it because they feel like, well, these people have been oppressed for so long, that means like we're getting out. I'm sorry, that's not true. Like, you can be oppressed and come out and start protesting just because, I mean, we live in a country that it is acceptable for you to do that. We're not in a dictatorship. We're not in some place where, it's harder for you to do that, at least protesting wise. I think both sides right now are just completely bullshitting it. It's stupid. It's dumb that both sides, because, one side is basically saying, the other side is violent, this is what they want. But then in defense, they want to come back and then say, well, you're not getting it because this, and this. because of what's going on in the past. I completely get whenever you want to speak out against racism, against police brutality, against many different things. But you cannot simply just say, well, people are doing this because we've been oppressed for so long. No, I'm sorry. Justifying violence in any sort of way leads to garbage like what we're seeing right now in Kenosha. The kid in Kenosha was an idiot. But the fact we are in a position right now where 17-year-old kids feel the need to step up because their local governments are not doing anything is absolute trash. Yeah, it's stupid that a 17-year-old kid had to go out and do what he did, but he didn't go there with the intention of that. And to say that he did is wrong. Minimum wage, actually, let's do this. Amendment, $12. Let's say no, and let's oppose. And then let's support. That probably lost us a little bit of respect. We actually had approval go down, and now it's going back up. We're actually polling very high among Democrats. Higher than literally our own party. We have more liberals liking me than Republicans. Weren't the people he killed running at him or something? Yes, they were. I mean, that's the other thing that kind of gets me about it. Everyone's just like he shot someone for no reason, and I'm like, that dude that he shot first, was behind him. He was chasing him. He was going to beat the living crap out of that kid if he didn't do anything. He's gonna disarm him. And the guy was a pedophile, and he was a pretty bad criminal. And the fact that he was sitting there agitating someone with a gun is stupid in itself. Yeah, it is stupid to rush at someone with a gun. One was trying to get that illegally owned gun. One was trying to get the illegally owned gun away from him. Okay, I'm sorry. This is another issue that I've had with that. Why are you justifying people disarming someone? If the person has not done anything to you, you are not allowed to disarm someone of their weapon. That person, the kid obviously knows how to use a weapon, but I don't understand how you can actively say or encourage people to disarm someone of their weapon. To disarm someone of their weapon is a threat. I'm sorry if you disagree. It is a threat to go up to someone violently and just start yelling at them, hitting them, throwing stuff at them because you feel unsafe with the gun around you. I am sorry, but you cannot justify disarming anyone of their weapon. Because if I am a gun owner, I am not a gun owner. But if someone is trying to disarm me of my weapon, it's not going to be a pretty day. The gun was illegally owned, but it shouldn't have been done violently. Yes, I agree that it was illegally owned. The kid should not have been there with the weapon. I absolutely think that. But you cannot think it is okay to disarm someone who is not an active threat to you. If they are not pointing that weapon, the couple in Missouri was stupid. The wife, the husband was he was great. He was I support that. The wife was an idiot for pointing it all over the place and sitting there with her hand on the trigger. That was stupid. But they didn't break the law. They could actually get them for brandishing a deadly weapon, but one of the biggest misconception about the Second Amendment is about militias. I'm tired of all these mass shootings and murders. Well, your mind is going to go to that, right? Your mind is immediately because you see the kid with the gun and then you're just well, he's there to because you've seen that on the news. You've seen what that gun has done. But that gun was not being used in that way. Like, gun owners are some of the safest people that I have ever been around, and I live in Texas. There are a lot of guns in Texas. So to say that anyone who owns a gun is irresponsible is wrong. There are a lot of people out there who should not have a weapon. There are a lot of mentally ill people out there who should not have weapons. And mentally ill people are the ones that usually use it the deadliest. Green shirt guy, you're basically saying that, I mean, I don't know. To be anti-gun is stupid. I mean, look at this. We're getting another assault weapon ban. Oh my god, it actually might pass. Let's oppose. Okay, that was a close vote. Did not block it from committee. So now it goes to the floor. Let's oppose. Okay, we still have the coalition. Democrats still do not like that, so we can still block an assault weapons ban from happening. There's a difference between owning a gun in rural Montana and owning a gun in urban New York. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. There are just certain weapons that are used for certain things. Republican national debate. Let's look at this. Issues with the current healthcare system certainly need to be dealt with. Let's look at the candidate details. Family physician. Family physician. Interesting. You know, okay. You know what would be a fun kind of thing? What if I did a series of political process videos in which I take up the mantle of the real people? Like if I get like a Nancy Pelosi character, Kevin McCarthy, Michael Burgess, you guys as local people. How would you guys actually like if I actually did like just streams or videos of me just kind of previewing them? That would actually be interesting. Since mayor of Kansas City, so we have the mayor. Maybe actually, since he's from Kansas City, I could actually support him. So that's going to be Columbus Boyce. Then Barry Bates. I oppose Medicaid expansion fully as an idea ought to be have never been devised. I oppose Medicaid expansion. Most of them oppose. I oppose Medicaid expansion, but I understand why other people support it. I agree with their intentions, but I believe there is a better solution than Medicaid expansion. This is going to be poverty. I understand that voters have concerns. So that doesn't help. Alright, let's figure out what we're going to do. President? Oh wait, this is 2008. So we got House Representatives, U.S. Senator, and a State House Campaign Committee. If I actually go for the State House Campaign Committee, that basically means that I can actually run, I can actually try to take control of the House in certain elections, basically adjusting the campaign party platform for each candidate to match the values of their district, and using available resources to increase turnout, register voters, and influence public opinion. You'll be responsible for overseeing the recruitment and campaign process of State House candidates. $50,000 a year, and I can apply for the next 17 weeks. Do Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell? I prefer Nancy just because you have never played as a female. Yeah, I thought it... What? Yeah, I don't think I have played as a female. For some reason, I played as female more on my own than on livestream. See ya, stop it. Well, thank you so much for attending. Let's go for a U.S. House representative. Let's do a little bit more of a liberal platform. Let's do decrease the taxes. reduce the crime, and Social Security. House of Representatives, Virginia 10. And let's look at our opponents. 1 Republican in the field, while there's like 3 Democrats. Let's do some door knocking. Played political process for the first time today. Went from mayor of Albuquerque to state representative to federal representative to governor of New Mexico, and tanked in the Democratic primary in for president. See, you could be some damn successful person, but as soon as you actually step out and then try to go for president on a normal difficulty, you're gonna suck. Like, that's exactly the issues that I've had. Voter intention, let's look. Larry Burke, 85% of the votes. I mean, that's even before Prince William County. I have a very high approval among liberals. Let's say no. Campaign. Oh, it actually shows your financial history now. Total donations. Okay, so I'm getting like a ton of money right now from I'm getting a ton of money right now from PACs. Finance. So that's really cool now that they are actually showing how many donations you're getting from individuals and then PACs. Another 25,000 from the PACs. Then another 15,000. Let's do marketing. Social Security. If you guys are watching this right now, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and doing super chats really do help me out. If you cannot do that, doing a monthly subscription actually for becoming a member actually does help me out a lot more. Whenever I actually do get a lot more members, I really want to do like private political process live streams. That's definitely a promise I would keep if I get enough members. We would be doing basically you would get to see the live stream about 30 minutes, 15 minutes before I actually do it to the rest of the live stream, to the rest of YouTube. So that would be something that I could actually do for you guys. Actually, since I'm getting this, I need to max out my staff. 16, we're on week 17. Let's do marketing. Get a little bit more Democratic supports, and let's do a voter intention poll. That's 66 to 33. We're gonna have a pretty comfortable win. Getting about $10,000 a week now. It is easier to win political process primaries if you enter as late as possible. I didn't know that. We are 121 on the global peace scale. Oh, global peace index. We did win this election, 79,000 votes. Let's look at the turnout. 79,000 to 50,000, 57, 33, and 30. So it's around centered. It's a very good victory, but we have a struggle ahead of us. Your opponent has a larger base of supporters, so we're going to have to steal some votes if we hope to win. It would help if I actually knew what... Oh, so this is what happens whenever we actually follow these guys. City council member, state representative. Let's do campaign. Okay, so we're getting a lot more money. Getting a lot more money from this. Fairfax County. Let's get our turnouts to at least 10,000. Let's actually see what I can actually hit her on. Raising taxes on the wealthiest individuals. Do not eliminate government handouts. So she's against government handouts. She's for Social Security. She's for SNAP. We must do everything in our power to responsibly prevent criminals from getting access to guns, including universal background checks. She does support stand your ground laws. I support opening up federal lands for oil exploration. In 11 days, in 11 days, rip the people that died in 9/11. Oh yeah, 9/11. I forgot. I said I would never. Oh my god! I just said I forgot 9/11. What the hell? Education. We are really, really sucking on the education front. Free community college. I support. Do I support it? Did I say I support it? Oh yikes! Let's say support on all of that. Like that's exactly what I want. I support all of that. So let's go to free community college again. Oh god, that's probably gonna kill our election chances. Jesus Christ. 75,000. Oh, that actually saved our election. Not election, but it actually saved our education rating, because that really sucked it down. Let's go to here. Interviews. No. Rallies. I really, really, really need that independent vote. Let's do 88,000 for a minimum wage, and then let's do a poll. Let's see who's gonna win. 50-50. Cool. That independent vote is seriously going to matter. This is a very close election. This is a very close election. Let's replace, actually, let's put Social Security as a very high priority. Education is going to be pass legislation for a universal preschool program, and then Social Security, and then lower taxes. You can do this, PG. You need to reach out to the independents. I do. Direct mail. Let's just target the independents. Poll data. Voter intention, 14,000. Oh, that's kind of sucked more independents over to there. Let's do this. That helped our independent votes. It should. And let's hit one last mark. All right, let's see. I should have did more turnout. That's what I should have done. Yeah. All right, we come up a winner, loser actually in this election. We lost by about looks like 17,000 votes. We lost by about 17,000 votes. 52.5% to 47.5%. Unfortunately, we came up short in this election, so we are now jobless. We are now unemployed by the state of Virginia. Lost our election. So now we have no influence. That sucks. Definitely sucks. We didn't lose. We didn't save before it. General election has ended. I am proud of your effort. Unfortunately, we did not win this election. The odds were against us. Our party had less voters than the opposition's party. Let's go ahead and launch the presidential election. Indiana, off the bat. North Carolina, yep, Democrats. So, see, okay, this is what sucks. This is seriously what sucks about this game, is that you have no idea when these wave elections are going to hit. What really sucks about these things is that you're running in these elections not knowing that you were literally running at the worst possible time. I mean, this is a repeat of the 2008 election. I mean, Arizona is the only difference between this map and the Obama map. Arizona flips in this one. Less electoral votes because Maine and Nebraska are not split. If Nebraska split, actually, if Nebraska was blue in this one, that would have been funny. But this had to be very, very close among a couple of states, especially probably Texas, Nebraska, maybe even Georgia, actually, maybe even Alaska too. But yeah, that sucks, actually, getting caught up in these really big wave elections where, I mean, the Democrats do phenomenally well. I mean, hell, they actually. They win an election in West Virginia, but then lose an election in Georgia. So it split. I mean, same results from the other one. House of Representatives, 4 seats from the House of Representatives. 10 seats gained by the Republicans, 6 gained by the Democrats. So it only is a net gain of about 4. But the House is still under the control of the Democrats, so I'm going to have to run in the next one just to make sure that we can actually try to at least get into the House of Representatives. If you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see a more political process, just leave a like. Doing that simple task really, really does help my videos out a lot. So again, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you guys want to see more political process, just let me know, and I will do more political process. And again, I will see you guys in the next one. Next one, we're going to try to probably run in this election again. If not, then we could actually probably try to run for the one where we can actually run the entire state election process. So that would be fun. So again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Now, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Join the Discord. Go talk to me on Discord. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.